Welcome to Behind the Glitter Hollywood's Untold Reality, where we peel back the glamorous facade of the entertainment industry to reveal what really happens behind those famous studio gates. Today, we're exploring the stark contrast between the Hollywood dream sold to millions and the complex reality experienced by those within the industry. The glitz and glamour you see on your screens masks a world of intense pressure, systemic challenges, and hidden truths that rarely make headlines. From actors struggling with the weight of fame to the economic realities of the industry, we'll uncover what life in Hollywood truly entails. The illusion of overnight success. The myth of the overnight success remains one of Hollywood's most persistent narratives. We've all heard the stories: the waiter who was discovered at a restaurant and became a star the next day, or the unknown actor who landed a leading role and shot to immediate fame. The reality? Most successful actors, directors, and industry professionals spent years, often decades, perfecting their craft before getting their big break. Jennifer Lawrence worked for 7 years before her Oscar nomination for Winter's Bone. Morgan Freeman didn't land significant roles until his 50s. Chris Pratt lived in a van in Hawaii before slowly building his career. These struggles and years of rejection rarely make it into the polished biographies or press interviews. The industry perpetuates the overnight success myth because it sells the dream that anyone could be next, that fame and fortune might just be one lucky encounter away. The financial reality. While Hollywood projects an image of universal wealth and luxury, the financial reality for most in the industry tells a different story. Approximately 95% of Screen Actors Guild members earn less than $5,000 per year from acting. Most working actors supplement their income with side jobs. Even successful actors face periods of unemployment between projects. The wealth disparity between top stars and working actors continues to widen. For every Robert Downey Jr. commanding $75 million for a single film, thousands of trained, talented actors struggle to pay rent while waiting for their next audition. The middle class of Hollywood, actors who work regularly but aren't household names, has shrunk dramatically over the past 2 decades. The economics of filmmaking have changed as well. Mid-budget dramas and comedies that once provided steady work for many actors have declined in favor of bigger blockbusters with smaller casts or micro-budget independent films that often can't afford to pay living wages. The physical toll. The perfect bodies and flawless appearances we see on screen come at a tremendous physical cost that's rarely acknowledged. Extreme dieting and workout regimens that would be considered unhealthy outside the industry are normalized. Actors routinely gain or lose 20 to 30 pounds for roles in dangerously short time frames. Sleep deprivation during filming is common, with 16 to 18-hour days considered standard. Plastic surgery and cosmetic procedures are often unofficial requirements, especially for women. The physical standards upheld by Hollywood contribute to unhealthy body image issues, not only for actors, but for audiences who aspire to these often unsustainable and artificially enhanced ideals. Many actors have spoken about the extreme methods used to achieve their camera-ready physiques, including dehydration techniques before shirtless scenes, dangerous weight loss protocols, and reliance on supplements and medications to maintain energy through grueling shooting schedules. The mental health crisis. Behind the red carpet smiles lies an industry with alarmingly high rates of mental health challenges. Depression and anxiety rates among entertainment professionals exceed the general population by significant margins. Substance abuse as a coping mechanism has a long documented history in Hollywood. The pressure to maintain public personas while dealing with private struggles creates a unique psychological burden. Rejection and public criticism become daily experiences for most in the industry. Child actors face particularly severe challenges, with many developing significant mental health issues after growing up under intense scrutiny. The transition from adorable child star to adult actor leaves psychological scars that can last a lifetime. The industry has only recently begun acknowledging these challenges, with more performers speaking openly about their struggles with mental health. However, substantial systemic support remains lacking, with many fearing career repercussions if they admit to needing help. Power dynamics and abuse. The phrase casting couch has become synonymous with Hollywood for reasons that reflect troubling power dynamics that have persisted for generations. Sexual harassment and assault have historically been normalized as paying dues. Power imbalances between established producers, directors, and aspiring talent create environments ripe for exploitation. Those who speak out have traditionally faced career-ending blacklisting. The system has protected powerful abusers for decades, while silencing victims. The Me Too movement exposed just how pervasive these issues have been, revealing that what many dismissed as rumors or isolated incidents represented systemic problems affecting countless individuals across all levels of the industry. While recent years have seen important progress in addressing these issues, the fundamental power structures remain largely intact, with decision-making authority concentrated among a small group of executives and financiers. Diversity and representation. Despite serving global audiences of all backgrounds, Hollywood has struggled with authentic representation. Roles for actors of color, LGBTQ+ performers, and differently abled actors remain limited. Decision-makers, including producers, studio executives, and directors, remain predominantly white and male. Stories centered on diverse experiences are often viewed as niche rather than universal. Cultural stereotyping in character development continues in subtle but harmful ways. The statistics tell a clear story. According to numerous studies, on-screen representation still fails to reflect real-world demographics, with speaking roles for underrepresented groups significantly below their percentage of the general population. While public pressure has created some improvement, meaningful change requires transformation at the decision-making level, where projects get greenlit and budgets allocated. The illusion of diversity, featuring underrepresented groups in marketing materials while maintaining traditional power structures, has become a new challenge to address. The streaming revolution. The rise of streaming platforms has fundamentally changed Hollywood's economic and creative landscape. Traditional metrics of success like box office numbers and Nielsen ratings have been replaced by opaque algorithms and subscriber retention metrics. Mid-budget films found new life on streaming services before recent industry contractions. Career paths have become less defined, with fewer opportunities to build stable, progressive careers. Content glut has created paradoxical situations, more projects being made, while individual creators struggle to break through. The streaming era initially promised democratization, with more diverse voices finding platforms for their work. However, economic pressures and consolidation have led to risk-averse decision-making reminiscent of the studio system, with greater emphasis on established IP and recognized stars. For performers and creators, the streaming landscape has created challenging new economic models, with traditional residual payments that sustained many between projects replaced by one-time buyout fees that don't grow if content becomes wildly successful. The publicity machine. The carefully crafted public images of celebrities represent one of Hollywood's most sophisticated illusions. Most public appearances, interviews, and social media presences are carefully managed by teams of publicists. Authentic moments are often strategic decisions designed to build specific narratives. Celebrity feuds, romances, and personal revelations are frequently timed to align with project releases. The parasocial relationships fans develop with stars are actively cultivated and monetized. The modern celebrity exists in a carefully constructed reality where personal branding determines career trajectory as much as talent or skill. Even seemingly candid moments, the relatable fall on the red carpet, the emotional interview revelation, the spontaneous public appearance, often represent calculated decisions by publicity teams. This creates psychological burdens for performers who must constantly navigate the gap between their public personas and private selves, adding layers of complexity to already challenging careers. Gatekeeping and access. Breaking into Hollywood remains one of the industry's most persistent challenges. Access often depends on pre-existing connections, family ties, or financial privilege. The unpaid internship pipeline excludes those who cannot afford to work without compensation. Geographic centralization in expensive cities like Los Angeles and New York creates economic barriers. Who you know continues to outweigh what you know in many hiring decisions. The industry's reliance on personal networks perpetuates homogeneity, with opportunities flowing through established channels rather than based on merit alone. While technology has democratized content creation to some degree, the gatekeeping function has shifted rather than disappeared, with algorithms and recommendation engines creating new forms of visibility barriers. For those without financial safety nets, pursuing entertainment career involves significant risk, with the need to support oneself during unpredictable employment patterns creating persistent stress and limiting creative risks. The business behind the art. At its core, Hollywood functions as a business enterprise where artistic considerations frequently collide with financial imperatives. Creative decisions are often overruled by marketing considerations. Test audiences and focus groups can fundamentally alter artistic visions. International market considerations increasingly influence content creation. Merchandising potential shapes which projects receive green light approval. The tension between art and commerce creates a constant struggle, with creators navigating increasingly complex demands from studios, networks, and platforms concerned with maximizing return on investment. This has led to the prevalence of franchises, remakes, and adaptations, which represent safer financial bets than original concepts. For audiences, this business reality translates to content shaped by algorithms and marketing strategies rather than purely artistic vision, creating a feedback loop that rewards familiarity over innovation. Ageism and the shelf life of careers. Few industries discard experienced professionals as quickly as Hollywood, particularly when it comes to on-screen talent. Actresses frequently describe hitting a cliff of opportunity around age 40. Male actors generally enjoy longer career spans but still face diminishing opportunities with age. Youth is commodified and exploited before being discarded for the next generation. Institutional memory and experience are undervalued compared to perceived freshness and novelty. The industry's obsession with youth creates brutal career trajectories, particularly for women who often experience their greatest success in their 20s and early 30s before watching opportunities steadily decline. This creates a pipeline problem where experienced performers are pushed out while the industry simultaneously complains about a lack of professionalism among newer talent. This ageism extends beyond performers to writers, directors, and other creative roles, with fresh voices prioritized over experienced storytellers, despite evidence that creative capabilities often peak in middle age. The post-pandemic landscape. The COVID-19 pandemic accelerated existing trends in Hollywood while creating new challenges. Production costs increased significantly due to health protocols. Release strategies underwent fundamental reconsideration. Labor tensions intensified as profitability pressures increased. Audience viewing habits permanently shifted toward home viewing for many types of content. The 2023 writers and actors strikes highlighted the economic pressures facing the industry, with concerns about artificial intelligence, residual payments, and basic working conditions, revealing deep structural issues that predated but were intensified by the pandemic. The resulting landscape features fewer projects with higher stakes, creating an even more competitive environment where established names receive opportunities at the expense of emerging talent. Conclusion: the human reality. Behind every red carpet photo, behind every blockbuster premiere, behind every award acceptance speech exists a complex human reality rarely acknowledged in Hollywood's carefully constructed narrative. The entertainment industry continues to sell dreams, while those within it navigate challenging realities. Financial precarity, mental health struggles, power imbalances, and systemic inequities that contradict the meritocratic ideal portrayed to the public. Understanding this gap between perception and reality doesn't diminish the magic of storytelling or the power of performance. Instead, it creates space for more authentic appreciation of the very real human beings who create the entertainment we consume, and perhaps pushes for industry changes that better support the people behind the glitter. As audience members, we can enjoy the illusion while acknowledging the reality, appreciating both the art we consume and the complex system that produces it. Behind the glitter of Hollywood lies not just disillusionment, but also incredible resilience, creativity, and human stories even more compelling than the ones that make it to our screens. Building a more sustainable entertainment industry. As we've explored the complex realities behind Hollywood's glittering facade, the question remains: how can we, as viewers, creators, and society, contribute to a more honest and sustainable entertainment ecosystem? The challenges facing the industry are deeply embedded in structures that have evolved over more than a century, but meaningful change is possible if approached with intention and persistence. Perhaps the most powerful shift begins with awareness. Simply acknowledging the human cost behind our entertainment changes how we engage with it. When we recognize that our favorite films and shows are created by real people navigating precarious circumstances, we naturally become more thoughtful consumers. Supporting independent productions represents another powerful way to influence the industry. These projects often feature more diverse voices, innovative storytelling approaches, and more equitable working conditions. By seeking out and championing independent cinema, international productions, and work from underrepresented creators, we expand the definition of what successful entertainment looks like. This matters tremendously because viewing patterns directly influence what gets made next. The algorithms tracking our choices don't understand our motivations, but they do register our selections. Every time we choose to watch content that aligns with our values, we cast a small but meaningful vote for the kind of industry we want to see. For those within the industry or aspiring to join it, collective action has proven to be the most effective tool for systemic change. The recent strikes demonstrated that even in an industry built on individualism and competition, solidarity creates leverage for improved conditions. Supporting unions, professional organizations, and advocacy groups helps establish and enforce standards that protect vulnerable workers. Those with established careers and financial security have a particular responsibility to advocate for those just starting out, to create the mentorship relationships and support networks that the industry's competitive nature often discourages. Breaking the cycle of "I struggled, so you should too" mentality opens possibilities for a healthier creative ecosystem. Mental health support must become a fundamental priority rather than an afterthought or luxury. The unique pressures of entertainment work, the public scrutiny, financial instability, identity challenges, and intense schedules create psychological burdens that require specialized understanding. Destigmatizing mental health care within the industry represents a crucial step, as does developing resources specifically designed for the challenges creative professionals face. Some production companies have begun incorporating wellness coordinators, on-set therapists, and mandatory rest periods into their processes, practices that would have been unimaginable just a decade ago. These innovations don't just benefit individuals, they ultimately create better art by allowing creators to work from a place of wellness rather than depletion. The digital revolution that has disrupted traditional entertainment models also offers unprecedented opportunities for reimagining how content is created, distributed, and monetized. Creator-owned platforms, subscription models that directly connect artists with audiences, and collaborative production approaches all suggest alternatives to the hierarchical studio system. By supporting these experiments in entertainment infrastructure, we contribute to the evolution of models that might better serve both creators and audiences. Technology need not simply accelerate exploitation. Thoughtfully applied, it can democratize access and create more sustainable career paths. Education represents another powerful lever for change. Entertainment literacy. Understanding how media is constructed, financed, and distributed enables more informed choices. Teaching young people to look critically at the content they consume, recognizing both its artistic merits and its economic context, creates more sophisticated audiences. For those pursuing entertainment careers, honest education about industry realities alongside creative training helps prepare them for the challenges they'll face. Mentorship programs that connect established professionals with newcomers, particularly those from underrepresented backgrounds, help distribute the insider knowledge that has traditionally been gatekept. Ultimately, the most profound change may come from reimagining success itself. The current model that measures achievement primarily through commercial metrics and celebrity inevitably creates distorted incentives and unsustainable pressures. By expanding our definition of what constitutes a successful career in entertainment, valuing longevity, creative satisfaction, work-life balance, and positive impact alongside fame, and 4.